Hey everybody, it's me, Alex Garcia, aka The COG, coming at you from ComboClique.com to bring you, let's look at our calendars guys, we know what day it is, Wednesday, the best day of the week, brand new comic book day, and we got ourselves a heck of a week. This was an action-packed week, a big week, lots of great stuff came out this week, so let's jump right into it because we have a lot to talk about. And we're going to start with probably the hottest publisher on the market, DC, right? DC KO number 4, Scott Snyder and Javi Fernandez back with this issue. Had a little bit of a break between issues 3 and 4, a lot going on. We had that great boss battle issue where we saw that the DC heroes had to go a fancy way of building up Omega energy to deal with this final conflict. And in this issue, we get the big fight, the last 4 on the last 4. And the other 4 are mostly the absolute versions of these characters. What a fun, dynamic issue. Just lots of fighting, lots of fun, great scenes of the heroes showing why the absolute versions are amazing, but also, hey, you can't sleep on the classic versions either. Great issue. We finally see a winner, it seems. We haven't had, the winner hasn't officially been announced or crowned. We get a lot of story and background as to what happened, not just with the heroes, but we also see what's going on with Darkseid. This event has been so much fun. It didn't sound like it was supposed to be this good, but Scott Snyder and Javi Fernandez have really pulled it out. I mean, it's just an amazing, and I don't want to spoil too much. I want you guys to enjoy this issue. I don't want to spoil exactly what happens, but lots of fun things happen, and I really cannot wait to see the conclusion of this. And even better, I can't wait to see where these stories in DC go from here. Fantastic stuff. Do not miss this issue. Scott, Javi, killing it. And let's jump over to the Absolute Universe. I apologize. The Absolute Universe, where we have Absolute Wonder Woman Annual number 1. This was a great story done by Kelly Thompson. Matea de Ayuelis comes back on the art. She has done a lot of the fill-in issues between, giving Hayden Sherman a break between story arcs. And she knocks it out the park in this issue. This issue is absolutely stunning. Page to page, I was just like, whoa, like she was bringing her A game. And the story here is also very heart-wrenching. This was just a story that showed you that, hey, Diana, whether she's being raised in hell or being raised by the Amazons on Themyscira, she's got a big heart and she cares about those around her and even the villains. If you remember way back in the first story arc, she deals with Medusa and she gets a taste of what it is to be Medusa, and it's been holding on to her this entire time. And she realizes, look, I want to help Medusa. So she figures out a way to get in contact with Athena. She goes through heck to try to just get that done. And then she goes on this quest to help undo what happened to Medusa. Fantastic story, just really good stuff. If you haven't jumped on board for Absolute Wonder Woman, this is a great issue to just check out because you don't need to really know what came before. Everything's really well explained in this issue. It's a great one and done story. I really like this issue. It makes me really miss Absolute Wonder Woman. And for those of you who haven't started collecting Wonder Woman, not a great place to start. Check it out. And let's talk about the return. I've been talking about this for like 2 weeks, guys. The return of Vertigo with Bleeding Hearts number 1 by Dennis Camp, and Stipian Morian. Guys, we did get kind of a return to Vertigo already with the Nice House by the Sea, I believe it was, but that's the title that's been going on for a while. They rebranded it as Vertigo, but this is the official new Vertigo book. Bleeding Hearts, this was actually a very good issue. Really great way of introducing us to this world. The art is cartoony, but it's still very gory, and this was a very different Dennis Camp than we were mostly used to. Assorted Crisis Events is a whole crazy story he tells there. His Ultimates is very different. Martian Manhunter is a psychedelic trip. This one is like a joyous, but yet still really wrecks your emotions horror story going on at the same time. It's kind of like done in the vein, I guess, of you would say even like Stray Dogs and Feral a little bit. But here in this world, it's a world where the zombie apocalypse has pretty much happened. Most of humanity is wiped out. But then for some reason, this one, our main story character here, Poke, he starts to become, it seems like he's becoming human again, right? Because his heart suddenly comes back, starts working. And he starts to feel bad about what it is that these zombies do in this world. The zombies in this world can communicate with one another. But then the zombies start to realize, hey man, Poke's acting a little funny, but he's still he's getting his humanity back, so to speak. Really well done. There's a humor to this, but then at the same time, there's still this undertone, of course, of these horror aspects. Very good book. Dennis, you hit it out the park again. I really can't wait for issue number 2. What can be said? And also, I'm just happy to see Vertigo back. So good stuff. And TC just shows you why it's killing it right now. Great event going on. Their absolute stuff is great. And now they're bringing back Vertigo. Marvel, where you at? I'll show you where you're at. Got a couple new number 1s being launched this week. We got Marc Spector, Moon Knight, another Moon Knight number 1. They relaunched it yet again to tell a new story in this epic tale of Moon Knight that Jed MacKay has been telling for the last couple of years. Here we get Dav Pramanik back on the art, and this is probably the best art he's done on Moon Knight since he's been doing it consistently, so that was really, really cool. The way the last series, Moon Knight series, ended, we had Moon Knight suddenly get kidnapped. And here we see that he's been kidnapped, and there seems like they're trying to break him or find something new to do with Marc Spector. What these people's end result, we're not too sure about. But it was beautifully drawn, really, really interesting. I like this is a different take on the character. You know, they're really messing around with his psyche, and the fact that like he's away from the Midnight Mission and he's all on his own. He's got to figure this out, and he gets an unlikely ally, which I was really excited to see because we haven't seen this character in a while, return to help him in the end of this issue. So I'm not a big fan of the renumberings, but I did enjoy this issue because I keep saying it. This is Jed MacKay's best work at Marvel. So keep up the good work, Jed. Good stuff. And a book that I was hesitant to pick up, but I'm happy I did. We got Cyclops, number 1, by Alex Packnadell and Roger Antonio. This is continuing to the Shadows of Tomorrow arc. Here we have Cyclops dealing with his past. We're really getting into who Cyclops is, and we get a new Reavers. For those of you who don't know the Reavers are like the cyborg villains that the X-Men have had to deal with now for decades. We get a new version of the Reavers showing up, and the premise here is quickly set up that Cyclops is on his own. The Reavers have got him pinned down, and the worst part about it is he's being pinned down without his visor. How will he deal with this? What clever ways will Cyclops have to show himself to get out of these situations? And also to show just how awesome of a strategist and leader he can be. This was a great setup issue. I was hesitant to pick it up, but then once I saw that it was being written by Alex Packnadell, who has done great work in his career over at Image and DC, and did some Marvel work in the past. He's done a lot of online stuff from Marvel. They're now giving him his own X-Men title, and this was very well written. He really understands the character of Cyclops. I like that he's introducing new mindsets kind of here for Cyclops, fleshing into that background of Cyclops. So this was really, really good. It's only a 5-issue miniseries. Not a bad little investment. And Alex, keep killing it. I'm really happy I picked this book up. And let's jump over to Marvel's Ultimate X-Men. The last issue, guys, the Ultimate X-Men number 24 by, and round of applause to Peach Momoko for doing all 24 issues, writing and drawing on all these issues. No Marvel artist in the last probably like 15, 20 years has done 24 straight issues of a book, and she's also writing it. This was a great final issue. It really sends the characters off, but at the same time leaves door open for a continuation in this world. This series was really, really good. It had so much heart, so much emotions. It took you through the trials and tribulations of these very weird and different characters, you know, and the fact that Peach also, I feel like a lot of this was anime and manga inspired, so that was so cool to see that in the pages of Marvel. Go back and read the series, guys, if you haven't given it a chance. I'm also hoping that somehow, some way, these characters also continue to show up in Ultimate Endgame. We've only seen these characters show up, and not even characters, maybe I think it was one or two of them show up in the pages of that Incursion miniseries with Spider-Man. But I don't want them to be forgotten. Please, guys, go back, read these issues, pick up the trades. Such good stuff. Peach, thank you so much for making this series. Thank you, Marvel. You will be missed. Let's get out of Marvel now. Let's go over to that. I don't want to say boom because I'm going to confuse you guys, but let's go over to Dynamite, where we got Thundercats, the Valentine's Day special by Ed Brisson, and I want to make sure I get his first name right, Elton Tomasi, and Fabio Sora on the art. Very, very fun Valentine's Day issue. It's not some sappy issue. It delves perfectly in the world of Third Earth. And Thundercats is going away very soon. It's ending with issue 25. Then we're going to get that Thunderhawks series where we're going to have the Thundercats and Silverhawks crossover. So that's really, really cool. So I'm just looking to get my Thundercats fix any way I can. I really like this issue. It's not essential to the story. So if you don't feel like, hey, I don't have it in my budget this week, or it's not something I want to get, you don't need to, but it is still a fun issue. My favorite thing really on this issue was this is the first time that I've read a Thundercats issue that made me feel like I was watching the cartoon, because the art in this one really emulates that animation from the classic cartoon. So I really dug that. And here we have Panthro trying to help resolve an issue between the civilization that seems like a civil war, or just a country ripped in half by an artifact that they don't know how to share. So almost kind of like Romeo and Juliet-esque in a way, but more romantic than that, because that's Shakespeare. You got people to read a funny story. Anyway, this was a fun issue. Panthro does this thing. Artwork is beautiful. One and done. Good stuff. Not essential, so if you don't feel like you don't want to pick it up, don't pick it up. But if you did like I did, you will get a kick out of it, because anytime I get a chance to read some Thundercats, I'm going to read me some Thundercats. So cool stuff. And let's jump over to Image. No, let's stay in Dynamite. I put my books in the wrong order. My bad, guys. Gargoyles, Darkwing Duck, number 2. Back-to-back weeks, I guess we're having some releasing issues over at Dynamite, but that's fine, because this also was a fun issue. We had Tad Stones, Greg Weisman, and I don't want to get his name wrong, Ciro Caglioso on the art. Guys, the first issue came out last week. Fun stuff. Even though I normally don't like when delays or whatever make stuff like this happen, where you're back-to-back weeks you get the same book, I was happy to see this, because I love me some Darkwing, I love me some Gargoyles. And this story is a lot of fun. We have Demona trying to get the Quacknamakan. Oh my god, like the Book of the Dead, but in this cartoonish version. So much fun. Here we get more of the Gargoyles showing up. The whole clan shows up and they're chasing down Demona. It's a lot of fun seeing Darkwing having to work with the Gargoyles. The Gargoyles are more stoic and more serious, and here you have Darkwing being Darkwing, right? Being comical, just being goofy and being silly. Morgana just kind of being like, hey, can you come rescue me already? And the Gargoyles are just trying to figure out this whole situation. It's a fun book. It really just makes me feel like I'm watching the Disney afternoon. Does it tie in well with the regular Gargoyle series that's been going on? Probably not, but it's still a lot of fun. Not essential. So if you feel like you need to skip this. But if you want something fun to read and just something that's gonna kind of put a smile on your face, make you feel like you're watching that old school Disney afternoon, check out this series. Now let's check out Image, where we got Geiger, number 21, by Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. And guys, this issue was fantastic. the Northerner is here, and he starts to really explain how, hey, look, in my world, the South wins the Civil War, and that completely changes history. So now he's hopping around throughout time trying to fix it. And now he's in this future where he sees, oh, I need to fix this because it's going to affect everything. Everything's being affected. So him and Geiger are teaming up now, trying to figure out ways that they can properly use the Northerner's time travel abilities along with Geiger's abilities to fix things and make things better in this world as well, and not just in that world, but also in the past. That you can see is how hopefully we're going to get our boy Redcoat involved, and hopefully more Junkyard Joe. This was a great issue, tackling some interesting subjects, you know, bringing children into war, and seeing Gary Frank just continue to kill it on the art in these issues. Great stuff. If you're enjoying the Geiger world and the Unnamed Universe, you're going to keep loving it. Great stuff. And last, but certainly not least, Transformers number 29, Robert Kirkman and Dan Mora. And guys, I've been saying this for months, that Dan Mora is going to keep finding his groove with the Transformers, because his art is very beautiful, it's very elegant, and maybe a little stiff as compared to what Jorge Corona and Daniel Warren Johnson did before. Now I think this is the third or fourth issue of Dan Mora on the art, and in this issue, his art is just moving. It's fluid. It's just so great. Even his splash pages, it feels like they're animated. And this issue was non-stop action. This is probably the first time in the series where I felt like the Autobots have the Decepticons on the ropes. But it all ended, if you remember that last issue, Megatron does something unbelievably heinous to show how he's able to draw so much power. It even freaks out the Decepticons, and that leads to this big explosive battle in these pages, right? And just when you think the Autobots have the Decepticons finally on the ropes, another big twist happens at the end. Great stuff, Rob. It's almost like you gave Daniel Warren Johnson the first 24 issues so you can set yourself up to get to this point. But hey, well done, sir. Great issue. Can't wait to see where it keeps going. Can't wait to see how we're gonna get all the rest of the stuff, the G.I. Joe and, you know, Void Rival stuff, and also we're getting Mask somehow involved in all this as well. Great storytelling. Energon Universe, keep knocking out the park. So guys, that's what I picked up here this week. It was a big week. And there was still more stuff on the shelf. There was a brand new Deadpool issue, new series that I wanted to pick up. Benjamin Percy, who has been doing a great job with everything he's touched. I was really tempted to pick that up, but it was just wasn't in the budget. Lots of good DC books. Ignition Press, a new publishing companies out there. So guys, if you feel like the DCU and the MCU and all of these media studios aren't doing it for you, go to your local comic book shop and pick up some comic books, because they're killing it out there. And let's keep that conversation going in the comments. Make sure you're checking out our Facebook, our Instagram, our X, here on YouTube as well. Let's talk about all the things that we should be reading, picking up, talking about at the comic shops. Thank you guys as always for taking the time to hang out with me and talk about this stuff. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And as I always say, keep print alive and read more comics. Thank you guys. Until next time.